Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the video. My name's Coda, and for today's video, we're just going to be doing a little bit of maintenance on the Subaru today. I'm due for an oil change, so we are going over to my buddy Cade's house. Going to borrow his lift for the day, and we're going to get a new oil filter, get it all out. I might change my my belt up front because it has a nasty squeal, and I've had two brand new belts that I just haven't put on, so maybe today will be the day. And then I'm probably also gonna touch up my throttle cable. I believe is what it is. Seems to be really loose. Whenever I try to put my foot to the floor, it's not very, I don't know if it's not really responsive or what, but it kind of like lags a little bit. And then I believe it's because of it being loose. It's so loose that that's how I do my pops and bangs. So I don't want to eliminate that because I do really enjoy that aspect of the car, but I would like to definitely get it a little adjusted so it's not, because I mean, it's starting to get to that point where like going on a hill and you really got to get onto the gas, it's like bogging. So we're gonna diagnose that today, try and figure out if that is the throttle cable. If it is, we'll adjust it. Hopefully it's not stretched. I really hope that's not the case, because then I'm gonna have to replace that. And then I know I've said it in the last couple videos, and I never did a video of me washing this thing, but I'm going to do that today because my car, and you will see, it is filthy, in and out. It's both rough, so I'm probably gonna touch up both because might as well. But yeah, let me go get over to my buddy Cade's house, and we'll get this up on the lift and in the garage. Alright, now that we got the car all jacked up in the air, I'm gonna go ahead, I let it sit for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead, drain the oil out of it, let it sit, or take the oil filter off, and then I'll let it sit, get all the old oil out of it, and then we'll put a new filter back on it. We will button it up, and I will put the new oil in it, and then we will double check other fluids. I might double check some other stuff underneath here. This has been hanging off, and it's been taking a beating for a while, so I will probably put another thing back up in there, or I'm gonna take it off. I haven't really decided yet. There's not one, or there is one on this side, and I mean it's barely hanging on too, but I'll probably just throw a clip in it because I gotta throw a clip back up in my my STI spat because it came loose at Cruise Week. It completely broke out from the front bumper, so I'm going to have to re-drill that, which is sweet. But let me go ahead, get this oil drained, and then we'll go from there. And yes, I'm using little buckets because I have yet to invest in an actual oil drain pan so far, besides the little ones that we had, and they all busted. So yeah, it's coming, I promise. drains, I'm pretty much just going to go over what I regularly use to do my oil changes. A lot of people use different stuff. They just prefer that their dads tell them to use, stuff like that. I did use Mobil 1 oil for the longest time, and I still run their filters because I think the filters are really nice, and they're pretty much your best bang for your buck. A lot of people in the Subaru community like to run like the OEM stuff. I just prefer these Mobil 1 filters. And then I recently started using Royal Purple, and it takes 5W30. This stuff, I ran it in my SRT4, and I've ran it in this car, and honestly, I don't know, it works for me. Some people might not like it. Some people like to run, like I said, other stuff or like the OEM stuff, but Royal Purple, I mean, I can't really get a hold of it too much, but I usually get lucky when I go to the store and try to pick it up. So I was at the store the other day, and I picked up a whole 5 quarts of it, and then single quart. I think this car, I have to double check. I always forget. It's my bad thing, but it should take all of this and only a little bit of this. But while I'm gonna let that drain, and then I'm gonna spray with brake cleaner, clean it up, put the drain plug back in. We can go ahead. I can go ahead and put a little bit of oil into the filter and get it all ready to go. All right, our filter's ready. It's still draining a little bit. I'm gonna let it sit for a couple more minutes, and like I said, we'll spray with brake clean, and then we're gonna go ahead and double check a couple other things, and then I'm gonna drop it down and fill it back up. Alright, so we got the spat. I put one rivet back into it. I fixed up 2 bolts that were broken out or popped out from all the drops that Ocean City had, and it sits so low it scrapes. So I got that fixed. I'm still going to address this rubber piece here, and I'm probably going to fix how low, I believe it's one of my O2 sensors hangs. So I'm either gonna zip tie it up or throw it somewhere so it's not hanging down low. And yeah, we're gonna do that, and then I'll finish up this oil change. Well, it was as easy as putting a push pin in it, so I guess I'll just run it. If it falls back out, I'll probably end up taking it off. I have been under here for the second time. I do have both my axles are leaking, so, or no, those are my, that's for my power steering, that's leaking. So I'm going to have to get that fixed at some point, and definitely double check that, and get that figured out. I know my power steering in here is going out, That's probably one of the reasons for my rack and pinion is leaking. But I am going to upgrade the front and rear sway bar here soon. I got the car aligned and it still doesn't drive great. So I want to do whatever I can to get it to drive comfortable. And it does have a sway. I haven't fully diagnosed what it is. Maybe it is still, the alignment's not great, but I don't notice any bad wear on my tires or anything of that sort, so that's why I don't think the alignment's rough. But the place I got it done at, which is where I usually get it, I need to stop going there because I hear a lot of complaints about the alignments that get done, and the people that work in there don't do a great job. And I like my stuff being, good. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to dig into this stuff at some point and get it fixed. I do want to undercoat everything. They do have a pretty good layer of surface rust on this car because it came from down near the beach, so that isn't the best, but I have been planning on undercoating it. If I do have a can or two here, I'm probably going to at least spray my rockers and probably get this whole front coated, just a little bit, nothing crazy. I want to get it coated so it's a little bit better, and it's just a cheap undercoat. Eventually it'll get the whole underside completely done with the good stuff, just it won't be right now. But yeah, let me look at this wire, see what I can do to tuck it, and then I will look and see if there's some of that stuff, and then like I said, we'll jump in and finish this oil change. Again, that's just something easy. I just threw it up there. Like I said, let me see if I can find a can. If I can't find a can, then I'm not too worried about it. I do have a can of the Rust-Oleum undercoating, so I'm going to spray my rockers and spray some of this, and then, yeah. Majority of the underneath, I'm definitely gonna end up buying another one of these cans. I like this stuff better than the stuff that I normally use, so I'm gonna get more of this, and then I'm going to undercoat a lot more with a couple more cans of this. But let me go ahead and get some brake cleaner, and then we'll get this drain plug back in, the new oil filter on, and then I will lower the car so we can check the rest of the fluids and put oil in it. All right, the oil filter is on, drain plug's in. So let me get everything out from underneath the car. And then, like I said, we'll drop it down and we'll start digging into it. Alright, so first thing I'm going to check, which if you are new to Subarus or you're thinking about getting a Subaru, the biggest things that you want to keep maintenance-wise on these is your coolant. They're pretty known for using it, and then obviously your oil. Keep up on your oil changes. Make sure there's always oil in it. Make sure you're double checking it. It's doesn't hurt to double check and make sure you got coolant and oil in your car. A lot of people hate on these cars because they burn them or use them, and I think as long as you keep up on it and you don't abuse the car, obviously I have my fun in it. I do the whole pops and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, I still treat this car the best I've ever treated any car that I've had. It's never let me down, and I'm very, very thankful for that. So I keep up on everything that I can do, like I said, and it's been the greatest car I've had so far. So yeah, let me check the coolant real quick, make sure it's good. If it needs more, I'm gonna top it off right now, and then go ahead and start filling the oil in. So it can use just a smidge, and then I always like to put about half-ish in my overflow, just so if it needs to pull it out, it's there and it can pull it out. But I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the coolant and top it off. Again, a lot of people run different stuff. I just use Peak's coolant, their antifreeze plus coolant mix, 50-50 mix. Always use 50-50, do not use just straight antifreeze. This is just what I use. None of it's cheap, so this is what I use. Just like that, she barely needed any. I'm still gonna throw a little more into my overflow. Just so it has it. And then now that both of those are topped off, we can go ahead and start throwing oil in it. Alright, so this car has the EJ205 in it, so this motor only takes 4.4 quarts, so it's not going to take all of that. Again, I forget, I like to overbuy the things I don't need. I already have another thing of oil in the trunk ready to go, and then that's just an extra. So I'm going to put roughly around where I think it is, and then I'm gonna use the dipstick to measure where my oil is at. And then we're gonna let it run and check it again and make sure it's where it needs to be. Okay, so we're at the full mark. I'm going to start it up, let it sit here and idle for just a couple minutes, and then I'm going to recheck it, make sure it's all in the motor good, and then we can start working on getting this belt changed out. Hoping it's the same size as the one I did buy. because we don't utilize the AC because previous owner didn't have the plug that comes out of here and decided that he was just going to snip everything off the AC lines. Like all AC lines are all snipped here, snip back here. But yeah, let me double check that the belt I have is the exact same size. If not, then I obviously can't take it off and I'll have to find the good one.